Hello everybody, my name is Marlo and welcome back to TekTopia. Today is episode 45 of this series. We're nearly at the big 50. 50 whole episodes, 50 weeks of continuous episodes. That's crazy. Thank you guys for sticking with me this whole time and allowing me to continue this series for as long as it has. And don't worry, we're not stopping or anything like that. I'm going to continue going as long as I possibly can with this series. I'm having so much fun and I hope you guys are enjoying watching too. And have you guys got any ideas of something special we could maybe do for 50 episodes? I'm thinking something like a world tour may be fun. That could be an idea. I don't know. Let me know what you guys are thinking about that. I'm open to all suggestions. But today, guys, we are going to be constructing a very important building for this village. Something that is long overdue for my sad and very parched villagers. And what is the cure for sadness and dehydration? Why, a tavern, of course, so that is what we're going to be doing today. But before we start that, I just want to follow our blacksmith here, Jacob, into the smithy and give you a little bit of an update on things that have happened in between episodes. So, if you guys remember last episode, we were having some difficulties with this guy getting him to work. He really did not want to cooperate with the furnaces, nor actually make his way into the smithy itself. This painting was causing some troubles to crafting benches and yeah, everything. So good news, the furnaces are working as they are. They should have some coal in. Okay, yeah, as you can see, he is using the ones that are indented into the wall, so that isn't an issue. I've managed to place down 2 crafting benches. I've got a blacksmith token here ready to give our child when they grow up into a nitwit. And I also put this painting back, so that works now. We can cover up this horrible little corridor and pretend it doesn't exist. So yeah, good news, this is actually working. I was very worried at the end of last episode that we were going to have some big problems in here, but nope, all is well. Now, of course, I definitely didn't just shoot Dalen here with my bow and nearly kill him in one shot. I would never do such a silly and reckless thing. Of course I wouldn't. I did. I actually did. He nearly died. It was very scary. As you can see, one shot, kabam, 23 damage. Nearly dead, just like that. Anyway, I suppose now would be a good time to start work on the tavern. Might cheer him up a little bit after nearly being killed in cold blood, but the first thing I need to do before we can start placing blocks is to figure out where it's going to be located, which may seem like an easy thing to do, but believe you me, it's not. All of my buildings are pushed back into the wall, meaning I kind of have to dig around a little bit to try and find a space that's going to be big enough to hold whatever building is next, and the tavern I've designed in my test world, it's pretty big. It's quite large. It's maybe about the same floor space as our storage room over here. If we just head on inside... oh, hello. Stuck in the doorway, are you? I think she was trying to go in that chest maybe. But it's probably about the same number of floor tiles. It's not at all the same shape, but... yeah, this is a large room, so I need to have a look around and find a spot big enough to actually hold the tavern. Finally, I have managed to find a space that's going to fit my tavern inside. It's over here, but as you can see, we actually have a house above, so I needed to kind of make a little tunnel going inwards a bit, which is what I've done before for a couple of them, and we're probably going to have to do that more and more just because of how everything is shaped, but I thought I would maybe try and explain to you guys how I go about digging out an area. So the first thing I do is actually measure how big of a square or rectangle that I actually need for this. So this build roughly takes up about a 20 by 17 by 13 high blocks. That may seem high, it'll make sense later on once we do some work on the actual tavern, but yeah, that's the area I need. So then I find a spot that's going to fit it by just kind of hollowing out a ring going all the way around to make sure I've got enough room, there's nothing in the way or anything like that. And then the first thing I do is take out all of these blocks here on the first level and the second level. Now, what some people may choose to do now is just grab their pickaxe and go along like this over and over and over again until they reach the other side and then go back. But as you can see, you end up with just an odd block on the surface, and you got to go back again and break them all by hand one by one, and it's really annoying. And to get away from doing that, what I like to do is go ahead and take out the third level too. And then once I've got that done, if we just do a little tester over here, I guess, you can see we can go all the way across just holding down the left click, and we don't miss any blocks on the ceiling. Nice and smooth. That way, I don't really have to put too much thought into digging out an area. Nice and ordered and systematic. I don't really have to even look at the screen whilst I do this, so amazing. And just like that, the massive hole is dug and ready to be built in. But before we do that, I would like to give our child, who is now a nitwit, a blacksmith token. I just have to run out of here and go find her. I did see her a second ago, but you guys know the TekTopia villagers. They like to disappear very quickly and wander off and do their own thing. So, got to search around for her. Hopefully I'll find her in a minute. There she is! Druella says looks. That is possibly one of the coolest names I've ever seen a villager have. So Druella, you probably should be like a vampire or something like that. I feel like Druella is a better name for that, but you will have to settle for a blacksmith. So there you go, off to smithying. Hopefully you don't have any troubles like our other one did. Fingers crossed. She looks like she's going in the right direction at least. Yep, she's all good. She found her way using the furnaces, I assume, putting something in there. Oh, she's crafting, I'm gonna guess, an iron chest plate, but she's all good, so's the other one. Everything is running well in the village, and now it's time to actually build this tavern. So let's get into some sort of montage and build this thing up. Sometimes in Minecraft, I will create a build that just makes me feel really happy, and it always seems to be the case with taverns in TekTopia, and this one is no exception to that rule. I just feel really warm and cozy in here, and I'm not sure what it is exactly, but I really love it, and I'm so happy with how it turned out, and I hope you guys are too. So let me take you on a quick show around in case you want some better understanding as to what some of it is. So we've got our big old fireplace, keeping it nice and warm inside of here, and then round the back we have our bar, some taps to dispense some drinks, some cups for the people sitting at the bar, and then round the back we actually have a chair in here, so a villager may potentially every now and again come and sit on this thing, towel to wash their hands, a cake, plate maybe, another cup and a sink to wash their hands. With the towel, I guess dry their hands in the towel. Did I say wash their hands? I think I did. And then we've got some shelves up here just to display some sort of storage, and then obviously our tables and chairs for the villagers to actually sit on. Hopefully the carpets don't cause an issue because I like how they look, but at the front we have our stage, which I thought was a neat little feature. So that right there is actually a note block, and the bard will actually just pick the closest one on the floor, so I don't have to worry about them choosing that one up there. They will just pick this one and come and stand around here and do the little song and a dance, and yeah, play for the people of the tavern. So that is going to be really cool, and I cannot wait to move the villagers on inside of this place. It's going to feel so immersive. I absolutely love building taverns in TekTopia. It's probably my favorite structure of all of them. And yeah, I'm really happy with how this has turned out. And I will do a little bit of explaining as to why the ceiling is so high. We're going to make a little bit of an expansion at some point, but for right now, there's some other things I'd like to do instead. First of all, I want to show you this weird glitch that happened to me earlier. So this druid is actually starving to death. She's getting injured, but don't worry, she's fine. Happens all the time with druids, but you can obviously see them glowing through the walls when they get damaged. So I think there must be some sort of issue between TekTopia and the shaders I'm using, because that is one teeny tiny villager. So I was about to start constructing another home like the one we have over here, but then I realized we actually have 10 empty beds that are not being used by any villagers, and those are there because obviously we got some guards a couple of episodes ago. They needed to live in a home whilst they were a child, but then they moved out into the barracks, leaving all of these yellow empty beds, and I can actually see how many beds there are using our TekTopia information mod, this little book here, which is linked in the description by the way, as well as any other packs and add-ons that I use in this series, like the shaders for example. So if I can just find the right page here, homes, yeah, so here we are. Under summary you can see total homes 6, total beds 28, total residents 18. So yeah, I got 10 empty beds. Don't think I need to craft or build another new house just yet, so I guess I'm gonna do some trading with the merchant and see if we can buy some new professions, maybe spawn in some children. I'm not even sure what my emerald situation is like at the moment. Not good. Not good at all. 8 emerald blocks for the tavern. That's more expensive than I thought. Okay, we have an emerald crisis, I think. Oh, hello, how are you today? I need to do some serious trading. I was planning on getting some farmers. They are only priced at 4 emeralds each, so maybe I'll spawn in 4 children and we can get ourselves 4 farmers and slowly work our way up to the tavern. I think I was getting myself a little bit confused with the whole bed situation. I'm fairly certain that these 5 yellow beds in the barracks actually count towards that number of 10. So we've got 5 in here for 5 guards and then 5 elsewhere in the village just for any normal villager. So 5 is still pretty good. Obviously not as high as 10, so we will need to build some homes at some point, but not just yet. But anyway, I have only unfortunately got 3 hearts. I still, I think, would like to spawn in 4. I may even just try and get 2 more and just fill up all the beds and we can have 5 villagers, maybe get 4 farmers, and we will need a bard today actually, so maybe that one as well. So I'm going to spawn them in when I do eventually get the hearts required, but I'm going to need to do some stuff. Oh, we really need to get this tavern. You're so sad. With the expansion, I have also made the little tunnel leading to the barracks itself. Nothing special at all, really. There you go, you've seen it. Leading into the... I think I keep calling this place a barracks. I'm getting my words messed up today, guys. It's one of those days. But the expansion we're going to make is simply going to be through this 2 wide gap here, maybe even 3, I'm not sure, but basically we're gonna have a staircase leading up above. There may be some mobs around, so I'll have to go careful, but above the tavern itself, which is where we're actually gonna put the kitchen. Makes sense, right? Having the kitchen as part of the tavern. I'm not sure if I should have this fence gate here or not. I think it looks good, and it makes sense kind of barricading off the staircase leading up to the kitchen. But if I just go through here and show you, I feel like this is an incident waiting to happen. The villagers are probably just going to try and walk on over instead of actually opening it up. So yeah, maybe I'll just leave it without and we'll have the staircase to the kitchen, as I said, open for villagers just to walk up as they please. But yes, as you can see, the staircase is fully complete, furnished with some very fancy torches on the wall. Yeah, nothing too special in here. Try not to look at it, it's pretty ugly. But that leads us to the unfinished kitchen. This, believe it or not, is not complete. There's a lot I have to do, and I'm actually going off the cuff with this one. I haven't planned it in a test world. I've got a rough idea of what it's going to look like, and my general plan, this is the size of the room. It's not too big. Should be enough floor spaces for 2 chefs if we decide to have that, but I'm going to have my furnaces over on the left side and the right side, and then at the front here we're going to have like a big fire cooking up some food. We can maybe hang a cauldron down, cooking up some stew or something like that, and kind of just fill up this area with some stone and making it look, you know, quite menacing in a way, having this big old, not really a forge, I guess just big cooker cooking up some food. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna have over here, and then I guess I'll just have to furnish the rest of the room with some smaller details to make it look a little bit more interesting, because if I just have a line of furnaces, a big fire, another line of furnaces, gonna look pretty boring. So I think just for now we're gonna get the 2 sides done and maybe the fire over here, and then I'll bring you back in and we can do some of the smaller details. Nice and toasty in there. It sure looks like it is. I suppose it would be called an oven, right? Like a medieval oven, because obviously gas and electric ovens weren't a thing back in those times, so they had to use raw fire. So Yeah, I guess it's called an oven. I still don't really know. You guys can let me know in the comments. But yeah, that thing is done. We've got some magma and some fire cooking up a bunch of nothing because I didn't really want to put water in there. I felt like having that blue color as some sort of soup or stew didn't really make a whole bunch of sense, so I've just left it empty for now. Maybe one day we'll be able to put something else in cauldrons and we can change that up, but this is only in 1.12. We're a little bit behind, so that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. But yeah, there's our oven, fire, cooker, doohickey over there, and then on the two sides we have our furnaces, which is what the chefs will actually use to cook up the food. So if we do have two chefs, each of them will have 5 furnaces each, which should be more than enough, I would imagine. And yeah, that's what they look like. Nothing too spectacular, but I think it looks passable, which is the level I strive for with my builds. But no, obviously it's all going to look a little bit better once we have the smaller details in, which is what I'm going to do now. So I'm thinking in the middle here we need to have some tables or like workbenches here where they can actually, you know, put the food on and prepare it. So we'll have to do something like that. And then maybe over here we can have some shelves or something. I don't really know. I'm going to go grab a bunch of items, have a play around and see what I can come up with. Do I take a bite of the cake? I'm going to do it. I'm hungry. Oh, look at that. Whoops. I took a slice. Hopefully the chefs that are not even existing mind that, but yeah, maybe they took a nibble before it went down to the tavern. I don't know. So yeah, guys, let me show you the little details that I've added in. So first of all, lighting, all fine and dandy. No mobs are going to be spawning in here, so we're all good on that front. We've got a big table in the middle made up of 4 crafting benches. I was originally going to use some oak logs and cover them in trapdoors, but I wasn't sure if that was going to allow the chefs to actually use them. Or sorry, I had like one of these as a crafting bench and then the rest oak logs. But this way, we can actually have 4 chefs in here, and there are 53 floor spaces in this place. Believe it or not, it doesn't look like there would be, but there is, meaning we can have at least or maximum 4 chefs in here, which we got 4 crafting tables. So yeah, we have room for that if need be. But this is just meant to be like a table. We've got some drawers here that look as though they store some extra stuff, maybe some cutlery or something like that. Another table here using some pistons, and then we've got our shelf displaying the very important items of sugar, fruit and veg, or I guess just fruit, carbohydrates, and then we've got our protein down the bottom with some meat. So yeah, we've got a bit of everything in here. I think it looks pretty nice. Maybe could fill up a couple extra spaces, but I don't really want to overrun it. This is TekTopia after all. We do need to allow our villagers room to actually run around. So yeah, kitchen all done, tavern all done downstairs, but I have been building this for a little while now, as you can imagine, and every morning I go and check to see if there's any more hearts, but there still are not. Every single time I walk out my front door and go walk around the houses when they start coming out of a morning time, it's nighttime right now, there's never any hearts, so I'm just assuming they're not happy enough to have children right now. So yeah, I'm gonna need to do quite a lot of waiting around here for the merchant to come into town so I can manage to trade up to 8 blocks of emerald. This may be a while, and honestly, I may get bored and just go mine for some emeralds instead. I mean, it's entirely allowed. There's no rules against that, so yeah, I'll just see how long this takes, and I may resort to mining if it's gonna be a while. Don't you just love it when you record a 1.5-minute clip with your mic muted the entire time? I don't at all, but that's what just happened. Nothing too important, don't worry. We just crafted up our emeralds into blocks, went and purchased the tavern token, and then placed it down, as you can see. And then over here, just proof, I don't know why I need to give you proof, but there it is. So yeah, this is now an active tavern. Hopefully our villagers will now get happy enough to actually spawn in some hearts, although their happiness levels aren't exactly low. Maybe I'm just getting really... Okay, looks like I'm just getting really unlucky on the heart situation. Hopefully I'll be able to spawn in at least one, which I may do now actually, because we'll turn them into a bard. But I also only have 1 emerald left, so back to waiting around. This heart right here is about to become the village bard. Whomever may appear from when I put this down on the bed is going to be the shining brightness and musical goodness and happiness, and also annoyance at the same time on my part anyway, of the village, so hopefully they got a cool name, something that suits a bard. We have Dirk van Gant, or Gant, I don't know how to pronounce that. Cool name, Dirk. Dirk the Bard, I like it. Okay, hopefully you grow up into a bard and I will have enough emeralds to actually make you one, eventually. Well, it's not too exciting in here because we have a severe lack of a bard at the front here playing some music for the tavern people. But they're in here, they're moving in, they're cheering, they're drinking, they're having a right old good time, shoulder to shoulder, not even a single gap in between them, not a single pixel. Oh, off he goes, he's had one too many. Oh, okay, well, good news, they're actually using it. This hopefully will be a bit more lively in here, as I said, once we do get our bard. But fingers crossed, I should have some hearts soon, although I suppose I don't really need hearts anymore, do I? I'm in the need for emeralds. We're waiting for the merchant this time. I've done so much waiting this episode, I'm kind of losing my mind a little bit. I figured whilst I wait for the merchant and our musical prodigy child to grow up into a nitwit, you can see him there behind me, I would let you guys know what I decided on as a name for this here village. Now, a couple of episodes ago, I asked you guys for some suggestions on what we should call this place, and I had so many, like nearly 100 I think in total of just suggestions for this place, let alone other comments as well. And yeah, I had a really tough time picking because there were so many good ones, so I thank you everybody who left a suggestion, I really do appreciate it. But there was one that I really liked, and I think a lot of you guys did as well because it's very highly thumbed up and also suggested multiple times in the comments. So that is from a user by the name of JDAW07Jador, who suggested the Undergrowth. Now, one, that sounds awesome, really cool name, and also kind of makes sense with the ravine village here. You know, we're underground and growing in more ways than one, with crops and other sorts of natural life as well as actual life with the village, and the population is growing. So yeah, the Undergrowth, I think it sounds awesome. I am possibly debating with maybe giving it a dwarven counterpart, like its official name can be something dwarven, so if the Undergrowth possibly translates into something dwarvish, we can also give it that name at the same time. But yeah, the Undergrowth, I think it sounds awesome. I hope you guys like it, because I really do. And now we have a name for this village, I'm able to do something that I've been wanting to for a long time now. Many episodes ago, probably 4 or 5 by now, I had a comment from Boogie Boy who suggested something really clever. So all of my tools here have names. They're actually kind of a little bit of a reference to the show Disenchantment. Those of you who watch that series will probably understand. But this axe right here is called Mechlon's Axe, so Mechlon's Axe after our first villager Mechlon. But they had the idea of kind of naming them after each village we create. So the axe here can be called Mechlon's Vale's Axe or something like that because it's mainly made out of wood, so makes sense to be the axe, right? The shovel can be Asteria's shovel because, well, sand. And then now we have a name for this village, the Undergrowth. This can be the pickaxe of the Undergrowth or something like that. And then I'll get a bow for the next one, and maybe I'll eventually get a sword one day for another village. But we could also do our armor pieces as well, and elytra. We got many options here. So yeah, I thought that was a really cool idea. So I'm going to name all my tools, and yeah, just a fun little thing. So thank you for that suggestion. I really appreciate it. 39 levels just to rename a tool. That seems crazily expensive, but I guess I got levels to burn, so it doesn't really matter. I even had to come all the way out to my gold farm for some extra XP to be able to rename my shovel to Shovel of Esteria, and my axe is Axe of Mechlon's Vale, and then Pickaxe of the Undergrowth, as you saw. So yeah, those are some really cool names. The bow is just Bowo for now, because I don't have anything to name it, but we'll have to remember that when we do our future villages. Hopefully they make sense with the actual tool they're given, because these three make sense, you know, what they are and what they're named after, so we'll have to do something that's inspired by a bow next time. I don't quite know how that's going to work, but that's a mess that I am going to leave for future Marlowe, while I, present Marlowe, just leave. You know, it's not quite what I had in mind for your debut performance, good bard, but I guess nobody has come to watch you perform other than I, so play away, play the flute, do something. I don't know what he's doing, he's just stood there in time. We did actually have a miner and a druid in here watching him play for a little bit, doing his songs and his dancing, so I'm not sure if these things on the note block are causing an issue. Maybe the flower pot is, or maybe he's just so sad he doesn't even want to play because nobody's come to watch him. Very sad indeed. I'm hoping once we get a bit more of a bigger population, we will actually get some people in this tavern. But for right now, it's pretty empty, and that is just the saddest sight I've ever seen in my life. I feel so bad for him. So bad indeed. Oh, poor guy. Anyway, guys, that is going to be it for today's episode. I really hope you did enjoy watching. I hope you liked the tavern. I hope you liked the kitchen. We'll sort all that stuff out next episode. I am fresh out of emeralds to buy anything else for today, so yeah, we'll have to save it for next time. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.